Hello, everyone. Yes. You are welcome to today's live session. So, guys, there is this revelation as to why our judges can hardly do without being, influenced. I mean, the endemic corruption among our judges in our judicial system. It is so endemic that we've got to fix this if we really want Nigeria to move forward. And like we all know before this time, the sitting president has come up to say that removing him from office is going to cause anarchy, is going to trigger anarchy in Nigeria. He wants the tribunal, you can see it on the screen, that Tinubu wants tribunal, that you dare not remove me. It does not matter your reason if you don't want anarchy in Nigeria. So today we want to listen to what Mike Ozekiome got to say about why our judges tend to be corrupt, why there is always this case of corruption among them, and why the Nigerian citizens tend to lose their confidence in our judicial system. So let's get to watch the video.
With the issue of remuneration of judges. Judges are human beings like us. They live in the society. They live with us. They partake of the daily sufferings we all go through. But they remain the judices. They are to deliver justice. Justice which is said to be rooted in confidence. Now, Billy Graham once told us, if you lose wealth, you have lost nothing. If you lose health, you have lost something. But if you lose character, you have lost everything. How does the society help judges to maintain this character? Judges of high courts and federal high court, their salary is just a little over 500,000 naira. Our local government chairman, that is not enough for them to fuel their convoy of cars in a month. Yet this judge has a wife or wives. He has children. They go to the same market. They go to the same school. You are paying a judge of a high court or federal high court that you want to deliver pure and undiluted justice, a miserly pittance salary of 500,000 naira plus in a month, and when he retires, he has no hope of going to any house. You want him to retire to become a tenant amongst people whose family members he may have tried and jailed. Come on, can we put on our thinking caps to know that neither Archangel Michael nor Angel Gabriel will come down to judge our cases? The beginning and the end of it all is that it is garbage in, garbage out. It's what you put in, that's what you take out. So do this set of Nigerians very well. Every other thing we follow, like in the Bible. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing shall follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So guys, we've heard it. That is why we have corruption among our judges. And no doubt this can be fixed. So before I let Doctor come in, we all know that this is the month of September, the long-awaited month that the judges will come up with their final ruling. And every eye is on the judiciary. So before Doctor comes in to comment on this video I've just showed you guys, please just take note of this very video that I want to play, and then we'll link everything together.
The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will decide whether it will allow a person with forged certificates and criminal conviction to be the president against the Constitution. If the tribunal fails to disqualify Ahmed Tinubu, despite clear evidence of forgeries and criminal conviction, and disregards the Constitution, it destroys public integrity in Nigeria. The evidence before the tribunal is clear that a U.S. court convicted Bola Tinubu of drug offense and ordered him to forfeit a huge sum as fine. He also presented a fake certificate to INEC. The Constitution disqualifies from public office anyone convicted of a crime or who presents a fake certificate because these crimes undermine public integrity. Since 1999, a Speaker, a Senate President, and a Minister of Finance have been removed from office because they presented fake certificates. None of these had criminal convictions, but presenting fake certificates was enough to remove them from office. Today, our country is overrun by criminality and forgery. The tribunal cannot continue to encourage crime. We cannot be a republic of fraud. Otherwise, we lose credit and reputation and become a criminal state where even judges themselves will be victims. The tribunal must disqualify Tinubu for forgery and criminal conviction. It must the advice of the Supreme Court in Saleh versus Abba that the must actively fight certificate forgery and should never anyone who presents a fake certificate to contest election any public office.
Yes. So please, I want you to link these two videos. You've heard what Mr. Mike Ozekome said as to why we have corruption in our judicial system and why it is very difficult to end this endemic corruption. So looking at what we all are expecting, the kind of judgment, the kind of ruling we want the judiciary to give us, how confident are we in our judicial system? Please just link these two videos together and let our viewers get to know what you have to say.
Yeah, good evening, viewers. I hope you enjoy yourself this evening. My take is very simple. I've always said that the other two arms of government, the executive and the legislature, that they are professional politicians who are interested in perpetuating themselves in power for as long as the Constitution allows them. If you're a governor, maximum length of 8 years, president, maximum length of 8 years. If you're a legislature, for as long as you can keep winning and keep coming back. And that the judiciary is the only arm of the government whereby they rise by training, by qualification, by professionalism, and that they are the only people that can break the ranks of the politicians. I mean, the endemic nature of corruption in the judiciary, as alleged by Mike Ozekome, is something we can feel by the kind of judgment that comes out of the court. However, one person can choose to make a change and break that rank. Break the rank by hitting the big hammer on these politicians and thereby ushering in a new lease of life. I mean, we can't continue in this cycle forever. We can't continue in this cycle forever. That's a fact. Yes, they may be starved by way of not remunerating them well. The judges, to be honest, it's not a job you take because of remuneration. If you study law and you want remuneration, you go into practice. You go to the bar. And even if you go to the bar, you don't take certain cases. I mean, if you are the company lawyer of a big bank like Zenith Bank or Guarantee Trust Bank, You may not be going to court all the time, but you are riding in a very big car and you're getting a very big remuneration. But if you decide to defend people who are helpless people in the society that are being marginalized, you might be a successful lawyer, but you're not going to be well paid. The likes of Gani Fawimi, we called him the senior advocate of the masses. I didn't see him as someone who made so much money, as it were, but he imprinted himself in the mind and in the heart of Nigerians. And of course, you see the big ones that are taking up the election petition cases. I'm told it's running in hundreds of millions. Some of them, one case of the defending Tinubu or defending P2B or defending Atiku or defending Buhari or defending Obasanjo or Yaradua, then could the money they charge could simply pay off all the bills of all the people that have been in the justice system all the years until they retire. The same thing, if you look at it, there's no amount of money a lecturer who is churning out graduates will make that will make it. I mean, a lecturer turns out an engineer, and the engineer gets a job in the oil company, and the first 1 year of the salary of the young man in the oil company will pay for everything the lecturer has gotten all through his life. So to start with, there is what is called the dignity of labor and job satisfaction. One thing that people must look out for when they want to take up a job is, what is the satisfaction I have in it? I mean, the same thing could be said of pastors. Some pastors today, they build good houses, they buy cars, they fly private jet. They say, oh, they are pastors. Why are they doing this? Well, pastors have wives, pastors have children, pastors buy things in the market, pastors have to send their own children to the university too. So there is no hard way to summarize this. Every man, when you find yourself in your position, do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. That is what the Bible says. Do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. There is no way the remuneration will be equal, no matter how we look at it. It will never be equal. All right? So if you want to get out of your comfort zone of being a judge and go and play politics, you can come out. They do it in America. I see some judges who have later become senators. But that is not an excuse. That should not be, no matter the amount of bribe you collect and what is given to you. The fact is that the executive is really the person who they are holding the knife and they are holding the two arms of the government, the legislature and the executive. They have both the knife and the bread. They make the law, the executive executes it. The judiciary are like this: whatever you give us, we collect. If I were them, I would do my job judiciously. At least let me not lose both ends, because there is no amount of money you collect and give bad judgment that will not make the society to be a bad society. And there is no amount of money you collect in bribe that will be more than money that people would have made in their life. You will still have need for money, no matter how much money you collect in bribe. So you might as well just do your job and be proud of the fact that you have done your job. What Michael Zuckerman is saying is the truth. Look at what they give to retired army officers. Army officers that never had interface with civilians. They give them Prado Jeep, they give them bulletproof cars, they give them the retirement benefit and this and that and that. And not some of those things are not given to the judges. But well, even those who are going to law school today know the ladder, how it is. So the question they should be asking themselves, do I want to go through the ladder of the becoming in the bench or being in the bar? I think if you want to go through the path of going through the bench, it is like you want to offer yourself a service. That was once I had a training program for some medical doctors in one of the teaching hospitals in Nigeria. And I was talking to them, from the chief medical director to the cleaner. And I told them, all of you in medical practice, you should see yourself as people who are working with God, because God wants us to be healthy. And medical practice is helping that cause that God is instituted for us to be healthy. And so don't look at the money, look at the lives you're saving. Look at that little child that they brought in your practice, and you're able to use your training and expertise to give the person life, not necessarily how much money you will collect for carrying out the surgery, how much money you will collect for treating the person. Why not save life than get money? So if you look at it like that, some people have decided to convert their medical practice into money-making practice. But the reason why you go into medical practice should not be because of money. It should be because of saving lives. If you want to make money through legal practice, go to the bar, become a barrister, defend people, defend companies, defend multinationals, collect their money. But if you go through the bench, you are there to collect what the executive give you, but you must deliver judgment. So in my own summary is that there is no excuse. There is no excuse whatsoever. Because the other civil servants on the street, the man who is working in the office that they are putting in jail for corrupting himself, he has family, he has children. He too wants his own children to become governor tomorrow. He wants his own children to become engineer tomorrow. And if his salary is only 100,000 naira and he's a graduate, there are lots of graduate people who are PhD holders in Nigeria who do not earn up to 120,000 naira per month. So where do we start and where do we end? Everybody must see the services they are rendering as if they are rendering it unto God. And the moment you give it that attitude, what you gain in terms of physical remuneration and what you don't gain will not count again. That's my own take.
Yeah, Doc, thank you very much. So, talking about corruption among our judges, there's this video that is coming from Rivers State, the tribunal in Rivers State. So I'm equally going to be playing this video, and Doctor will break it down for us because it has to do with this corruption of a thing. We all saw what happened in Delta State. The petition that was filed by the Labour Party, was trashed out. They threw it away before now, as in making the man's case not to be heard. This is all about corruption. But we were happy to see that the appeal court, finally gave him that opportunity to be heard. And that was what we were celebrating when we posted that Peter Obi is celebrating his first win at the appeal court. Yes, it's a very big win for us, because for you to file a petition and then they threw it out that you don't even have that privilege to be heard, that one alone, is a very bad signal being sent to the public, because we know that the judiciary is the last hope for the common man. Everybody should be able to have access, should be heard, But that of the Labour Party governorship candidate was, thrown out then. But now he has been given that opportunity to be heard. So you find out that this corruption is everywhere. Don't forget that before now, Wike was the governor of Rivers State, and we all saw what happened in Rivers State. Up to today, they are still playing all kinds of game around the tribunal hearing in Rivers State. That state appears to be very, very stubborn, but no doubt Peter Obi, the Labour Party, is going to show them that Nigeria is taking a new direction this time. So I'm going to be playing this video, and then Doctor will help to break it down for us to get a very good understanding of what the video is.
Most unfortunate, we took refuge in the law court, hoping to get justice. But you all observed that the judges threw most of our evidence away. They just dismissed them. They didn't give emphasis, they didn't evaluate them. Particularly the certificate of returns that was given to all the and PDP on the 1st of March, when the electoral process was completed on the 2nd of March. That was a big dent, but they never evaluated it. They talked about the RF results. They dismissed our RF results, that RFs were not very important. And what they forgot to note is that the RF results are consistent with the polling unit results. The difference of the polling unit results and the RF is that the polling unit results are the ones given to agents at the polling unit, and that the same results are the ones, uploaded in the RF portal. So what in this case happened was that INEC downloaded them, certified them, and gave the requisite certification. And the tribunal just discountenanced, those evidence. In fact, it is most unfortunate. The judiciary was given an opportunity in the case of this tribunal to make a statement to Nigerians and the globe that the son and daughter of nobody does not need to know anybody to have justice. Myself and my legal team will sit down and evaluate the judgment, we will analyze it, and come up with appropriate response. In due time, we will make the necessary response, whether to go on appeal or otherwise. But I can assure you, justice will be done in this case. There will be equity and there will be fairness. So thank you so very much.
Your name again, sir?
Oh, my name is Wolu Ekelechi Benjamin Ukuwolu, the senatorial candidate under the platform of Labour Party, Rivers East Senatorial District.
And then I thank God that it's all over, because with the situation we have in the country now, no time to waste. We should begin to direct all our energy to see how far we can put things together to move the country forward. So I'm happy that everything at this level now is over, so we can give our time.
So, Doc, yeah, please, I just wanted to comment because this is the senatorial candidate for the PDP. The court ruled in his own favor and not in the favor of the Labour Party. We all heard what he said, that all the things he presented before them, were thrown out. They didn't give him that opportunity to be heard. I wanted us to listen to the other Labour Party man. But this is the man from the PDP, and he's celebrating his win at this point. But let's just take this clip. And then finally,
the Labour Party candidate for the Rivers East Senatorial District of Rivers State, together with his party, the Labour Party, and dismissed the petition that same was not approved. We've listened to the judgment of the tribunal, and we'll apply for it, a copy of it. We'll study the judgment, and upon instruction of our clients, take necessary steps. But I can tell you as a counsel that clear exhibits, including the certified true copy of the primary result of the election, the polling unit result, tendered, were clearly ignored by the tribunal in arriving at the decision that the petition was not approved. So when our clients gives instruction upon reading the judgment, we know what to do.
So please, can you give us some of the grounds of contained in your petition?
We have a sole ground that the second petitioner, second respondent, Alwen Onyeso, did not score the majority of the lawful votes cast at the election. Rather, the first petitioner did, and we demonstrated the same by bringing INEC witness who tendered the certified true copy of the polling unit result of the election, showing that the petitioner won the election. But those exhibits were not properly evaluated and considered in arriving at this judgment.
So the judge made mention of you failing to include.
So, Doc, please take us through this, because I think it's becoming more interesting looking at what is coming from Rivers State right from the time of the election. And you can see Wike was saying that there is no way this sitting president will lose, at the tribunal. These people, I think something is giving them this kind of confidence. Something is really giving them confidence, despite the fact that the whole world saw what happened in Rivers State, as in it was a mess. Looking at what happened, we can trace those videos back on the internet. What happened, in Rivers State on the 25th of February during the presidential election, we all saw it. So when I saw this post, we kept posting that it is never possible for the sitting president to lose at the tribunal, I came to this conclusion that no doubt something is emboldening these people. So that links us back to this corruption of a thing that we are talking about, among our judges in our judicial system. How do we get rid of all this? And I don't know. I don't even know what to say, because at this time, we just need God to help us, to help our judges to stand firm, because no doubt this pressure will be there monetarily, politically, and otherwise. They want to influence them, pressurize them to go contrary to their will. So, Doc, please, let's hear your thought on all this.
Let me say this. I am expecting more of judgments that will go in this direction to occur, mainly at the governorship election petitions tribunal. At that lower level, I am expecting it. I am expecting it because majority of all those incumbents, let me give you an example. It was said that in Enugu State, for instance, the government house provided the jeeps, the bulletproof cars that were moving the judges, the petitions tribunal judges. So what do you expect? Now, remember the jaundiced judgment that came from the Ekiti State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal. And when it got to the appeal court, it was trounced. APC appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court sustained the judgment of the appeal court. Many of these, the more you look, the less you see, will happen at this high court trial level. I am expecting many of them. In fact, with all the evidence that is so heavy and so available, like in the case of Enugu State, I will not be surprised if the tribunal in Enugu State wakes up and say, Labour Party, you don't have a case. But these judges need to understand that we have moved away from that era. The 2022 Electoral Act is a bone in the neck of judges now, because the evidence is there. You see, the Labour Party guy here, the senatorial candidate in Rivers State, listen to him. He was referring to IREV, certified true copy downloaded from the IREV by INEC, in relation to their own copy. Now, this particular result sheet, EC8A, was issued by INEC, and INEC certified it, and they have their own copy that INEC gave them at the polling unit. Why should the judge throw it away? What is the ground? Well, I have not read the judgment though. I like to read the judgment to see the for or against, to know. But if I am to take based on what I heard here, you can see that there's a reference now to the Electoral Act. And there is also reference to issuance of certificate of return before the conclusion of the electoral process, which was also what happened at the presidential level, because the INEC chairman declared the result when, according to the EU, about 36% of the result had been uploaded. And out of that 36% of the result that had been uploaded by 1st of March, many of them were not even correct. So there is a challenge of the result you declared. How did you get it? So, but these high court judges, according to Michael Zokoma, they are the 500,000 salaried people we are hearing here now, if you understand what I mean. There are those people that are in the category of 500,000, which if you punch calculator today, 500,000 is not even up to, it's just about $500. It's just a little cent less than $500. That's what they collect. So they are happy to collect. The man who is the respondent is collecting about 15 million as a senator with their so-called palliative and what have you in a month. And this judge is not even collecting up to 1 million in a month. The judge is happy to collect 20 million from him, close his eyes, pretend as if there is no evidence, give judgment because one, the judge himself knows that his judgment is just exercise, more legal exercise. This thing is going to appeal court, and I think appeal court is the final appellate court for the National Assembly. It's going to the appeal court. That is where all those evidence, it's like what happens in impeachment in America. When you hear impeachment, the House of Representatives will impeach you and then forward it to the Senate to now do the trial. It is the Senate that will find you guilty and remove you as a president or not. So everything the House of Representatives does is more like they call it impeachment inquiry, meaning they are trying to say we are the investigators, we have investigated, and here is the evidence. Remember that if you remember the case of both Clinton, I don't know if you were born then or if you are aware politically then, Clinton in 1998, yes, 1998, when he was being tried for his impeachment, or Donald Trump in 2020. Those members of the House of Representatives will carry their own evidence, call their own lawyer. The man they want to impeach will carry their own evidence, call their own lawyer, and they will all come into the Senate chamber and begin to debate. And the senators are the judge now waiting. So all these trial levels, like this particular level now, what the high court judges have done at this trial level is to say, hello, you people in the appeal court, this is our case. And this man is going to come there to say, this thing that the high court judges presented to you people does not make real sense. This is my reason. This is my reason. This is my reason. So if indeed he has a case, he should approach the appeal court. Just like Adeleke did, went to appeal court and trounced APC. APC appealed to the Supreme Court and Adeleke trounced them there again. That's why he's governor today. That's why he's governor today. So it is a bazaar time. I'm sorry to say use the word, but that is a bazaar time for the high court judges. They want to collect the much they can collect and give you whatever judgment they want to give. And because whether they gave the right judgment or they gave the wrong judgment, there will still be an appeal. But that is ridiculous though, because they are killing their integrity if you know what you should do as a judge and you collect bribe and turn a blind eye. Just like you saw what happened in Delta State, as you said. They trashed Labour Party's petition. The guy had to appeal, and the appeal court have to mandate them again to start trying it. Okay, the same judges that threw away that particular petition, what do you think will be the final listing? They will still say that they will still rule against it. Watch it. So the guy is still going to go again to the appeal court and then go to the Supreme Court if he thinks he has a case. It's a shame.
Honestly, it's really a shame looking at what is happening in Nigeria. So, guys, we all know that Mr. Peter Obi will always tell us that this fight is going to be a long fight. It's going to be a long battle. You can't just come in and say you want to change the system and it becomes so easy for you to do it. There will be resistance, and that is just what we are experiencing. So it's not as if we ruled out all this, from happening. These are some of those challenges that we'll have to face if we really want a rebirth of our country. We want a new Nigeria. This resistance will be there. The judges might be the instruments, that they will use to try to stop us. But we have to keep pressing on, just like Dr. cited that of Delta State. It is the same judges, that throughout this case that will still be the ones to give the final ruling. And what will you expect? They will still do their master's bidding, as in those people who are the ones, pushing them. They will still want to satisfy them. And that's why it's so difficult to get justice in Nigeria. The image I shared with you guys before, look at the ending part. It said Tinubu wants tribunal. So you can imagine the gods, you can imagine the boldness, despite the fact that there are so many issues around our sitting president. So many things, so many things. The 25% is there, forgery case is there, for future is there, double nomination is there, and so many things. You talk about INEC not keeping to its guideline. There are so many things, but you know, he's saying that you dare not remove me if you don't want anarchy to happen, to be in Nigeria, or to happen in Nigeria. And he was like issuing that strong warning to them. So you see that Nigeria is a place where this influence is really strong when it comes to getting justice from the tribunal. I mean, those our politicians, they tend to have strong influence using their political positions, using their monetary strength to like stop the judges from dispensing justice. And this is one of the reasons why we should be ready to like keep pressing on, keep fighting this fight until a new Nigeria is born. No doubt a new Nigeria is possible. So we look forward to getting the date for this final ruling. And we are also praying that God will grant these judges that boldness, you know, to stand up for what is right, to stand up and save our democracy, to stand up and give us justice. And that is just what we want them to do. So guys, without taking much of your time, we'll be ending this live session at this point. I want to appreciate you guys for being with us to the end of today's session. Please do well to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, please. That's the only way you can support us. And with that, I want to say thank you very much for spending your time with us. We don't take it for granted. God bless you all and have a very good night's sleep. Goodbye. Doctor, thanks for all your contributions.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good night. Yeah,
Good
thank you.
night. Bye.
Yeah.